Welcome to the Light on Suitability podcast. I decided to change the name of the podcast because our Saturday schedule wasn't always convenient for Darrell, Shaun, and myself. Instead of changing the name to Suitability Sundays and then Mondays and so on, I thought a more generic name would work. Hope you like it. This week, Darrell and Shaun wanted to discuss the challenges and stressors eligible parolees will be facing during the renewed COVID issues. They also provide tips and strategies for remaining focused during challenging times, in particular, right now leading up to the parole hearings during the next couple of months. We talked about a whole bunch of topics actually this week, not just this one topic. But instead of posting it as one giant episode, I separated out the discussions into bite-sized posts. Because this was more of a conversation the three of us had together, the flow is sometimes off, but it was too important a topic not to post and do over in a more formal style later on. Hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Talk about staying focused in prison during the COVID lockdown again, because I remember when I went to Frank Yard and left Darrell's date was pushed back because of COVID, consistently getting pushed back. And so that can be very discouraging because you're ready to go. Not only you just ready to go to the board and you got that little anxiety, but you ready to go home, you ready to start your new life. And then for it to get pushed back, it's like, damn. Really? And then all type of other stuff is going on in the prison. That's more time you got to try to avoid bull crap. And so that was my biggest thing, right? Is avoiding the bull crap, during this waiting period, right? And I had another pod mate who was a transgender. She had her date pushed back 2 times. And oh my God, I felt bad for her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was breaking down. She went to, her board date was set for 5:30. She didn't get there. They didn't come pick her up until like 7 o'clock. And so between that period of time, it was like, oh man. Then when she got there, they was like, hey, let's put it off. But it was just that anxiety attack and fear. The board date comes again, they put it off again. I can't even imagine like what was going through her mind. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happened with Darrell. But the difference between Darrell is that Darrell had God in his life, and so that was able to calm his spirit. But I'm quite sure Darrell, I can't speak about, how Darrell was feeling, but I'm quite sure he was like, man, here we go again with this stupid COVID. And so now we have that again that's coming. So all the state of California is supposed to be locked down for a 2-week period. But me and Darrell know it's going to be longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how it started off last time. That's something that's really going on, because at Tracy's law firm, when I'm answering the phones, that's what that's what most of these people on the women and in the men are talking about. It's very discouraging. I know it can be discouraging, no program, fear of this COVID coming back again, because that setup, they moved us all over. Like they was moving us with people who had COVID. It was just crazy. Like they forced me when I was in a hole to move someone in my cell with me who had COVID and I hadn't even tested positive. And so I refused the first 3 days, but then they came to me and was like, well, we're going to have to write you a 115. So I was like, so you're going to make me choose between my life and a 115? And then I'll never go home? Like, that's insanity. I was angry, right? I ain't going to lie to you. I was freaking angry. But I had to go in my prayer closet and pray. And was like, so I had to go in my prayer closet and pray. But Darrell is account to this, that at setup, they moved everybody around with everybody. It made no sense. And like they brought a yard over there to our yard in our building 1. People with COVID was like, what the hell is this? Some of your dates can be pushed back. What do you need to do if your day get pushed back because this COVID thing is coming back in CDCR again, right?
When I was in prison, I had a hard hit by COVID. 13 days, man down, hospitalized. It was ugly for me. It's real. I want people to know that it created a lot of anxiety for us, Shaun as well. We were moved around so much, so they're going to be moving people around. People just have to remain patient and be vigilant. A lot of board dates may get changed. I don't know, because I know we're doing it on video. Mine was on video, so we were okay. However, when we're going to the board, like me and Shaun, we were preparing. like a lot of your clients, Elizabeth, you have them where they're peaking right before they go. So when we go in, I mean, we're on. But like Shaun was mentioning, when they postpone board hearings and we're at our peak, what happens after the peak? You go down. You know, when they call us a month or 2 months later, 3 months later, if we don't stay vigilant and stay on our steady course, then we're not going to be that peaking person who would have been found suitable had we gone. You know, and that's just nature. That's just human nature. So I want families to who are listening to encourage and motivate their loved ones to stay focused. Don't allow what you see going on around you to persuade you or dissuade you from accomplishing your goals, because the big goal is, the end game is to get out of prison. And even if you get positive again, you get a little sick.
I'm gonna give my example for what I did for me and what I tell the guys. So during the COVID, I got moved at least approximately 11 times. So I never unpacked my stuff. Approximately 11 times they moved me during this COVID. And so what I did was, all my board stuff and stuff that I need to work on, my books that I read, I put them to where I can grab them. Them are the things that really wasn't packed. What I would do is, because when I caught COVID, I only lost my sense of smell, couldn't taste, and I had a headache. That lasted maybe 7 to 8 days, and then I was good. I just kept reading. I just kept focused. I kept staying on my stuff, and I would stand in the mirror, talk to myself. I would lay on my bed and just talk to myself and tell myself, look, you got to stay focused. Don't be discouraged. Because I'm mad that they're moving us everywhere. I'm feeling some type of way. And so I got all this aggression and anger. And so I had to pick up my stuff and say, okay, now how do you deal with this anger? What's going on with you? Why are you feeling like this? I'm like that close from going to the board and going home. So I'm like, damn, am I going to die in prison? I stayed in my prayer. I stayed with my books out. I stayed reading. I stayed doing my portfolio. These are the things that I did to stay focused. And I stayed talking to other people because, you know, everybody was rampant and raging because they're upset, and I get it. They're being moved 1,000 times. And so I'm just like, hey, man, just try to look at it as a positive aspect. Like, say if your day get pushed back or whatnot, just look at it as in giving you more time to prepare for board. And so that's what I would tell myself. God is just giving me more time to prepare for board. And I swear to you, when I went to the board, I was good. I really sharpened up my game on all different things that I felt I need to sharpen up on. I'm not telling people from something that I read or heard. I'm telling you from live experience, what I did and what got me through. And that was just, my stand focus was meditation, blocking out the negativity that was going around and not engaging in the conversation, because it's easy to engage in that and be a part of that, but it was unhealthy for me, right? Because now I'm frustrated. I can't think right. So when I try to pick up the book, my mind is all over the place. And so I didn't want to do that. And so I just disciplined myself to stay reading my stuff, stay talking to people still about recovery, about the group, stayed helping people that was in the pod with me that, you know, needed some board stuff. That's what I did. And that's what I recommend for family members that's listening. Tell your family members to do that, and for us to let the guys know when we're talking to them, just to stay focused like that. For you to stay focused. If that's working out, I worked out. If that's removing people, putting your earplugs in so you don't hear, put your music on, I did that too. Because I don't want to hear what everybody's talking about. I wanted to stay focused on my stuff. And that's what I did, and I'm telling you, it works.
You know, it's not you know this because we were able to talk about this. During COVID is when I really was able to internalize triggers and warning signs.
Yeah.
I mean, because when and Elizabeth, this is really important for us, especially when we're encouraging people to do a relapse prevention plan for anger, because you are so frustrated, you are so angry, no yard, no canteen, you know, the food is brought, excuse me, it's being brought to you. Everyone's going crazy because everyone's playing victim. They're going to kill us. They're setting us up to die. All this. This is when I started really understanding my triggers. And I thought I had, because I felt hurt. I felt I was being treated unfairly. Frustration, fear. And then the warning signs. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you breathing hard, or you feel butterflies in your stomach. You're like, what is going on here? This is when we go to our coping skills. You know, this, and it's so important. And I missed this earlier, and I just want to reiterate, this is when, if we put coping skills on paper, use them now. And the first thing you want to do is remind yourself, no more new victims. because a lot of fights took place during COVID.
Yes, indeed.
People couldn't get out, and positive self-talk, prayer. What I did, and I'm encouraging people, get your pen and your paper and start writing down your write. Go over all your parole plans, write it down instead of reading it. Let it continually be fresh in your head, in your mind. Because I did this, and I wrote it and wrote it and wrote it. So when I opened my mouth, it just came out. It's still, I'm free. And still, when talking to people, I was talking to guys yesterday. They said, "Man, it sounds like you're facilitating a group right now." But we need this because it's important. It's something that I know, Shaun, you did, something that I did, and I really want the people that have a chance of getting out of prison to get